All right, I met my friend Butch. He's a long-time resident of Pine Bush, New York. Good afternoon, Bush.
Hi,
Butch.
Phil.
Yeah, Butch is he's a barber. He has a barber shop in town, and he's had a lot of his own UFO sightings around here in Pine Bush. And that dates way back a few decades. So, Butch, tell him what you've seen over the years, briefly.
Well, I guess I got involved in this around in the 60s in a Fate magazine. And in 68, there was 5 of us in the car about 2 miles down the road. It was about 10:30 at night, and we watched a circular one just come floating over a bridge, Red Mills Bridge, and it was large as a bank, and it had a rim around the edge, so you could see figures looking at us. It hovered over the bridge, and we got out of the car, and we were looking at them, and they were looking at us, but then a car come up behind us, and the thing just tilted back and right up, and it was gone in a couple seconds.
Wow.
And then when Phil took me out to the cemetery, I had a sighting out there.
Yeah, let me just say that when I took him out, that was a couple of years ago. It was, to be exact, it was July 12th, 2009. So go on.
So Phil and I went out there, and I had a sighting back in the 60s there, too. It was a cigar-shaped one, and it was right on Rock Cut. That's about a half a mile away. And it was going up Searsville Road, below the tree line, a big silver one.
Wow.
Just like a cigar. And then I went with Phil out to the cemetery, and there was 2 vacant houses there, and we watched them out there for a while. I went out there with him twice, and Phil knew what we were looking at. Of course, I knew they weren't planes. They just kind of rose up from behind the cemetery.
They came right out of the woods, right?
Yeah, they came right out of the woods, and they also come from east and west too. Different directions, different speeds, and you'd have to be a mannequin to know they weren't something besides planes. But that's how stupid people are. They don't even know what they're looking at. They look in the mirror, they don't even believe that. They're called the UFO skeptics.
Right. So that night I took you out. Remember you were saying, look how bright that is, as I was filming it?
Yeah. And
what did you exactly see that you saw?
The lights come up, and they rose right out from the woods right behind the cemetery. And they didn't come, they'd come right straight up, and then they hovered, and then they'd come out, they'd go east or west or north or south, and they all kind of lights on them, and they had to be something besides planes. And forget about the flying garbage cans lids. These were real UFOs. These were.
Wow. Here's the second one that I had just mentioned. Oh my God. Again. Wow. Wow. It's putting on what it did 2 weeks ago. Holy smokes, look at that. Wow. Abena. Oh, Abena glory. Look at this. This is my contact girl, Abena, right here. No doubt. Wow. Holy smokes again. Wow, Abena, thank you. Many thanks for that awesome sighting. Now, you have recognized and seen that they use flashing lights on either side of these craft.
Sure.
It's a form of mimicry that they're using, and a lot of people think that because of that they're just planes, but you yourself, you saw it come out of the woods, right?
Yeah.
You know and it was hovering, as you said. It stayed there as I was filming it. It was just stationary, letting me film it. And did you see any of that plasma, like, swirling around it?
Yeah.
Like it was a dark, almost like cloudy type plasma.
Right.
And the light was so bright. I remember you were remarking on how bright it was. It was pulsing.
Right.
And so...
And these things, they go and they stop. You know, there's no parking meters up there, so you know they're not planes. They don't park up there. But these crafts do. They can stop and go and come and go and any speed they want. They're out there. And it's that out there by the cemetery, it's very active out there. There's been a lot of sightings out there.
For years, right, Butch?
Oh, yeah.
For years.
And strange things go on out there. And it's amazing. There's only a certain few that really get into it. The rest of the people, they don't know what they're looking at anyway if they do see something. And well, now there's people out there. Now there's people in that one house. The other one's empty, but
right.
Sooner or later we won't even be able to go out there.
Well, she gave me permission to be there, but I mean, she has huge floodlights on that house, so it's like I don't like it because it's way too bright to film.
A very phenomenal spot, very eerie out there sometimes when you're looking.
It is.
You know, all of a sudden they start popping out of here and flying over here.
And you know that area behind the cemetery has been weird for decades. Like Ellen Crystal had remarked that she had thought that they had a base way behind those woods there, and they were coming right up from underground. And I can vouch for that, and I know because these craft, I took a walk out there back in 2010 in the summer. I took a walk into the woods, back right where I see the craft come out, and I scoured that whole area back. I combed the whole area for about a square mile in the woods, and all there is back there is rocks, hills, ravines, marshes, and there's no sign of any kind of fenced off facility at all. So I don't think it's anything our government that it belongs to our government. And so what else, what other notable sightings have you seen that would you like to relate and share?
Well, that's the only really ones that I could say where I could see shapes to them. And all the other ones are lights at night.
But the ones that I took you out to see, they're triangular, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're not the saucer type.
No.
They're definitely triangular, right?
Right. Or rectangular, yeah.
Yeah, or diamond shaped.
Yeah.
You've had other sightings though too, right?
Just lights. But
lights.
You know they're not planes.
Didn't you say your brother had a sighting on his farm or something and it killed an animal or something?
My brother lives up towards Walker Valley. Phil knows where that is, and he had one right over his house, and it lit up the whole house. It was in the middle of the night and it lit up the whole house 3 times.
Wow.
And then it disappeared. The last time it was an infrared, and this light was strong enough to light up around the whole house, at least 50 to 100 yards.
Wow.
Around the whole house. And I asked him, did you go out? And he says, you're crazy, I'm not going out there. And the last time it was an infrared. And the time between the intervals was like maybe a couple minutes. And they walked through the whole house. They have a 2-story house. And they walked through the whole house, and it was the same light on all sides of the house.
Wow.
Maybe for a period of maybe a couple minutes. So they could walk through the whole house and see it. It lit up the whole yard.
Amazing. And didn't you mention before that one of his farm animals died as a result?
Well, he had a neighbor that
a neighbor
that had some of his animals that died the next day.
Wow, because of the light?
Well, they don't know what it was from, but they just mysteriously died.
Whoa.
And we had one a couple years ago. My son at the time was about 18, and this happened about 10:30 at night, and it come. Well, it was treetop level, and it was huge. It come right over our house, and then it kind of did turned around. It didn't turn around. It was huge, but you could see it was turning around, and then it just headed up towards town.
Wow.
But his buddy wouldn't even talk about it, and he was a skeptic till that night, and he became an instant believer. When something like that happens, you're either comatose or you become an instant believer.
Wow.
This was huge. It was a rectangular one, come floating right over a field right outside our house.
Amazing. Now this is right in Pine Bush.
Yeah, we live down by about a mile outside of town.
Yep. So this area has had decades and decades of sightings around here.
All over.
Ellen Crystal, way back in the 80s and 90s, saw these things, and
she had 2,500 photos, but nobody believed them because most of her sightings and pictures were taken at night, and everybody would tell her, "Oh, they're
planes,
lights or car lights,
planes,
planes."
Yeah. Well, that's the big thing with these craft around, especially the triangular craft. Now, I know you've seen some saucer type craft around here too, but
yeah,
most of the craft are triangular, and they are using this form of mimicry with a flashing red and green lights, and it makes
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, because if they were to fly around without that kind of FAA required flashing lights, then they would be intercepted by the Air National Guard. The radar would catch them, and the reason they're here so much is because they have an underground base, and that's all right. Well, I guess that's all. We've covered it.
Well, it's been good talking to you.
All right. Well, I thank you very much for the interview and sharing what you know and what you've seen with me out in the field.
I think my cat's seen a few too, but he won't talk.
What's his name?
What's your name? Smokey.
Hey, Smokey. All right, Butch. Thanks very much for your time.
All right.
All right.